Hello guys, so this is nothing groundbreaking, but I heard from someone that NewJeans side has submitted an expedited examination request for the trademark for NJZ, which they have submitted a few months ago. And I looked into this case and I found something very interesting and something I didn't know about, so I decided to make a video about it. When it comes to the trademark request submission, there were some articles written about it back in March. So let's start here. It says, it's been confirmed that the 5 NewJeans members filed trademark applications for NJZ the day before officially announcing it as their new group name. On February 6th, they applied to register 2 NJZ logo designs and 1 symbol, dividing them across 10 product categories, just 1 day before they revealed the name NJZ on social media on February 7th. A search on the Korean Intellectual Property Rights Information Service, KIPRIS, shows that the trademark applications was indeed filed on February 6th. And you're looking at the website right here. The applicants are the 5 NewJeans members, and the application was handled by law firm Shin & Kim, which currently represents them. So if you click on this, it says Kim Min-ji for applicants and other 5 members as well. And 대리인 is Oh Jong-han, who is the lawyer under Shin & Kim. The categories they applied for include CDs and CD distribution, clothing, mats, lighting equipment, leather goods, air fresheners, fruit drinks, and furniture. Wait a minute. Let me refresh this. Where are we? Furniture. The mats likely refer to floor cushions, which is a common Kpop merchandise items. While the lighting equipment category likely refers to fan light sticks. All of the trademarks applications filed under NJZ by the members are dated February 6th, according to the Patent Office's search system, which is 1 day prior to their public announcement. Shin and Kim, their legal representative since January, handled the filings. Coinciding with this, the article says, the 5 members are expected to sell NJZ branded merchandise this weekend in Hong Kong using one of the registered symbols. Yeah, at the time, they were preparing for the Hong Kong Complex concert, right? Complex Con. The merchandise item in question is a keyring, a popular product among younger fans, and will be released in 6 variations. Pricing has not been disclosed yet. These NJZ goods were prepared and released independently by the members without consent from their agency ADOR and are linked to their upcoming performance. The group will appear under the NJZ name at Complex Con, an omnibus concert held in Hong Kong on the 23rd. Meanwhile, the 5 members are currently entangled in a legal dispute with ADOR, which filed for an injunction to preserve its status as their agency and to prohibit them from carrying out entertainment activities independently. At the end of last year, the members unilaterally declared the termination of their exclusive contracts with ADOR and began acting on their own. Initially, ADOR requested an injunction to prevent them from signing ad deals, but after the NJZ name was revealed and the group began booking paid performances, the agency escalated its request to ban all entertainment activities. As of March 14th, the court hearings for both sides, ADOR and the 5 NewJeans members, have concluded. Some in the legal community speculate that its decision on the injunction could come as early as this week. So, as we all know, the result of the inclusions was just a total loss for NewJeans members, 11-0, as people say. And, the court sided with ADOR. Now, it seems likely that NewJeans filed the NJZ trademark application at the time, believing that they had a good chance of winning the injunction. But what's fascinating is that after they lost quite decisively, they went ahead recently and filed a request for expedited examination of the NJZ trademark, and they submitted the request on May 19th. As I heard from someone else. It's kind of hard to make sense of, but definitely interesting. So let's take a look on Kpop, the database search system, ourselves, the Korean Intellectual Property Rights Information Service. As reported, the trademark applications currently under review include a few different NJZ designs, basic font NJZ wordmark, a stylized version with the letter J extended to wrap around the N, and a graphic featuring a bunny face with NJZ written inside it. Now, the applicants are 5 members, 5 NewJeans members, and the filings were handled by the legal representative Shin and Kim. Sorry, what's happening? Now, one curious detail is that they divided their applications across 18 product categories. Like 18, that's quite a lot. By comparison, though, this is something interesting. By comparison, ADOR, back in 2022, ADOR's trademark registration for NewJeans only covers 11 categories. That is, 3, number 3, 9, 11, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26, 28, 35. And if you go to Wikipedia for international classification of goods and services, you can see what these classes are about. For example, class number 3 is bleaching preparations and other substances for laundry use. And class number 9, like scientific, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I have organized the categories like this. Okay, so these are the categories filed by ADOR for NewJeans back in 2022. Cosmetics like skincare, lipstick, perfume, nail products. Number 9, electronics. Number 11, lighting devices. Number 14, jewelry. On and on. Printed materials like photo cards, posters, postcards, album packaging, bags, furniture like chairs, tables, merch display shelves, textiles, decorations, toys and sports goods, and advertising and retail for merch sales, e-commerce operations, and marketing. Now, but the NJZ team added 7 more classifications to the list, and that is, the categories, classifications that weren't originally filed by ADOR a few years ago, back in 2022. And that is classification number 21, 25, 27, 30, 32, 38, 41. And these cover products such as tableware, sleepwear, rugs, processed food, right? So number 21, kitchenware, mugs, bottles, lunchboxes, tableware. Number 25 for clothing. 27 for carpets and mats, including seat cushions, like popular among Kpop fans. Category number 3, 30 for food, beverages, sodas, juice, coffee, tea. 38, telecommunications, and 41 for education and cultural services. So what does this mean? First of all, ADOR filed for the standard K-pop idol goods, cosmetics, music, merch, photo cards. Now, NJZ is clearly thinking beyond idol branding, moving into lifestyle products, cups, rugs, clothes, food and drinks, and even media and event services. And filing under class number 38 and 41, which are communications and cultural services, suggests that they may want to or might have wanted to run their own fan platforms, live streams, or events entirely separate from ADOR's infrastructure. Now, remember that, they submitted these trademark requests before the injunction result was made, back in February, right? And why is trademark ownership such a big deal? Well, that is because a trademark isn't just about owning a name. It's a powerful legal right that protects the brand value and economic benefits tied to that name. And since NewJeans represents the brand power of the girl group, it's only natural for the company that owns the trademark to defend it thoroughly. And, I think this blogger who is like professional at trademarks and stuff asked this question: why can't you just use names like Nike or Nike for, the sports brand Nike, or Adidas instead of Adidas? If anyone's thinking of using a name as such, legally that won't fly either, because even if the spelling or pronunciation is slightly different, it can still be considered a similar trademark. And if it reminds people of the original brand or causes confusion. And, in short, tweaking the name a bit doesn't make it safe. You're still likely to get hit with legal consequences. In fact, there have already been several failed attempts by other parties to register trademarks related to NewJeans. And even applications using the name in Korean were rejected. For example, a person named Yoo Se-jin applied to register trademark NewJeans on October 14, 2022. But the application was rejected for the following reasons. Reason for rejection 1, Trademark Act, Article 34, Paragraph 1, Subparagraph 6. The applied trademark NewJeans is considered identical to the name of a well-known girl group, NewJeans, and therefore cannot be registered. And reason for rejection number 2, Trademark Act, Article 34, Paragraph 1, Subparagraph 7. The trademark is judged to be identical or similar in appearance and designated goods to an already registered trademarks. The applied mark, NewJeans, is phonetically and conceptually identical to earlier registered marks that are, NewJeans, right? And it applies to Similarity Group Code G4503, 08, clothing belts. Reason for rejection number 3, Trademark Act, Article 34, Paragraph 1, Subparagraph 12. Since the applied trademark is the same as the name of a famous girl group, using it for the designated goods could mislead consumers into believing there is a connection, causing confusion about the origin of the products. Likewise, a company named Hanhyun applied to register trademark NewJeans, the Korean Hangul version, on September 20th, 2024, but was also rejected for similar reasons. Okay, and in both cases, the applicants were notified of the, grounds, the reasons for rejection, and invited to submit an opinion or amendment by a set deadline. However, neither responded, and both applications were ultimately denied. 거절. Now, then what about NewJeans? Like right now, can NJZ rather than NewJeans, NEWJEANS, be successfully registered as a trademark? That's a question, right? It's possible that they submitted a request for expedited examination a few days ago, even after losing the injunction, because they feel confident that NJZ will be approved. So, what exactly is a request for expedited examination, you might ask? Now, that's a good question. In South Korea's trademark system, a request for expedited examination allows an applicant to speed up the review process of their trademark application, which would otherwise take several months, sometimes over a year. And it's typically granted when the applicant urgently needs trademark protection, such as for upcoming product launches, concerts, or merch sales, or there's evidence of potential infringement or conflict, or the trademark is tied to time-sensitive commercial activity. In NewJeans' case, requesting this suggests that they anticipate using NJZ commercially in the near future. At the time, the upcoming performance or planned merch, or they want to secure exclusive rights before anyone else tries to claim or imitate it. Or they possibly believe that NJZ, which is, being a newly coined name from their perspective, stands a better chance of passing legal review since it's not directly identical to NEWJEANS and doesn't refer to an existing public figure from their perspective. Now, let's go back to the expedited examination request that NewJeans submitted that I've heard about. The application number is 402-02-50018-383, and it falls under class number 24, which covers textiles and textile substitutes, households, linen, curtains made of textile or plastic, right? Towels, curtain, cushion covers, okay? So let's actually search for it on this website. Number 24, and what was the number? 402, right here, okay? So, according to official records, the request for expedited examination, 우선 심사 신청, was filed on May 19th, 2025, and was marked as under review at the time, 접수 중. Now, when checking the Kpop, this website, directly, there's now an entry dated May 22nd that shows a submission labeled withdrawal of expedited examination request. 우선 심사 신청 취하서 포기서. That's the same date that I've heard about this case from multiple sources, receiving a tip about it, that they have filed this expedited request. So what really happened? It seems plausible, very plausible, that NewJeans, or more precisely their legal team Sejong, filed for expedited examination in anticipation of launching NJZ branded textiles or, home goods, possibly to secure legal grounds quickly on May 19th. But once someone noticed the filing and the information began to circulate online on 22nd, they may have decided to withdraw the request quickly to avoid further public or legal scrutiny, Then it raises questions, were they testing the waters quietly and caught off guard by the attention? Or did they reassess their strategy after losing the injunction? Or did they want to avoid the optics of aggressively pushing NJZ branding while still being locked in a legal dispute with ADOR? It's hard to say definitely, especially because they dare to submit for a expedited examination request after they just entirely lost the injunction case. But the timing is too specific to ignore, right? And what's more, the request to correct patent customer number information submitted on May 23rd, 2025, which was yesterday. This might seem like, just routine paperwork, but given the timing and context, it likely reflects a strategic move. Why did they file it on May 23rd? And here's why the date kind of stands out. May 19th, that's when the expedited examination requested, right? May 22nd, that's when the expedited examination was withdrawn after the information spread online about it. Now, May 23rd, correction of patent customer information, the very next day. The timing is too precise to chalk up to coincidence, so to say. So here are some possible interpretations. First, after withdrawing the expedited examination, their law firm Shin & Kim may have shifted strategy internally, perhaps updating the names of the attorneys handling the case or revising the filing party's details for legal alignments. Or they might have made adjustments to clarify ownership shares or officially designate the 5 members individually. This could be a move to define clear rights holders ahead of any trademark related disputes. Or once the expedited application became public online and drew attention, as I said, they may have rushed to tidy up the official records, either correcting technical errors or updating information to minimize legal risk. Now, I don't think anybody is talking about these two new information, right? The fact that they have withdrawn and the fact that they have submitted correction paperwork, right? So we'll have to wait and see what the full story is. But, from my perspective, one thing is certain. By withdrawing the expedited examination request, they throw away the $160,000 application fee. Maybe they should have used that money to buy a share of HYBE stock instead. actually, all right, HYBE stock price has gone up so much lately that wouldn't even be enough to buy one share anymore. Well, actually, they could have, though, back on September 23rd of last year. Then, once you factor in legal service fees, they probably still have enough left over to buy a share even now, because according to one blogger, the total amount of filing for expedited requests with the help of an attorney will be about over like 300,000 shares. Maybe for Shin and Kim, it'll be more expensive. So I thought that was just funny. Now, on a side note, if you browse like HYBE's stock discussion boards on Naver, for example, you'll notice a few NewJeans fans or hardcore NewJeans supporters who seem genuinely eager to see HYBE stock tank. And that's kind of funny. And I might make a separate video about it. But personally, if I hated a company that much, I think I would actually buy their stock anyway. Because that way, if the price crashes, I get the satisfaction of watching them fall. And if it rises, at least I make money. It's almost like emotional hedging, you could call it. Like a win-win strategy. But not that any of them would think that far. But that last point was just, consider it as a joke. Because I thought that was quite interesting. How some of NewJeans fans and NewJeans supporters are still hoping that HYBE stock will tank. Although it has risen significantly, but of course, stock price naturally rises and falls. But yeah. Anyways, so what do you think of this case? Why do you think they submitted the trademark examination request in the very first place back in February of this year? And why do you think they submitted the request for expedited examination on May 19th? And why do they think then they withdrew the request 3 days later, only 3 days later? Well, of course, after it was circulated online about this case. And why do you think they submitted this corrections to their documents that they had submitted before about these trademarks? Do you think they really believe that they have a chance of officially launching NJZ as a brand and do some commercial activities about it? And do you think the Korean Patent Office will allow them to launch their brand? Let me know about your opinions. And if you're professional or expert at trademark system, feel free to share your insights. And let's have free discussions. And as always, when we discuss, let's try to stay positive, respectful, and classy. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.